Hey Kiwi Kids, it's Deb, and do I have a story for you?
I can't believe it, said Tom. Who would wreck my treehouse? What have I ever done to anyone? He was standing in front of the figs with his mates Anthony, Usher and Johnno, looking up at the smashed treehouse, feeling outraged but trying not to cry. Johnno moved in and dragged dented tin away from the base of the figs, while Anthony picked up scraps of comics and clouds of cushion stuffing. Tom's dad walked down from the house. "Nothing in the house has been touched," he said. "Only the treehouse was targeted. I'm sorry, mate," he said to Tom. "I don't know who would do something like this." "I know who did it," said Johnno. "I bet it was Spud. He lives next door to Irene." "Don't go jumping to conclusions, Johnno," said Mr. Mitchell. "I concur with Johnno," said Anthony. "This is just the sort of wanton destruction Spud would enjoy." Johnno polished his knuckles. "Time for revenge," he said. "Well, hold on," said Mr. Mitchell. "You don't know for sure it was Spud. Is a fight really what he needs?" "I think he's asking for it, Mr. Mitchell," said Johnno. "What do you mean, Dad? Spud just can't come into our yard and wreck my treehouse and get away with it. He needs to be taught a lesson, and we're just the ones to teach it to him." "What do you know about him?" asked Mr. Mitchell. "Only that he's trouble." "He's a loner," said Johnno. "No one hangs around him much. He's always in detention at school." "He's a pariah in our society," said Anthony. "A what?" asked Johnno. "An outcast," said Anthony. "Well, that could be his problem right there," said Mr. Mitchell. "Maybe he wanted to join you in the treehouse. Did you ever ask him?" The boys looked at one another in horror. Tom got annoyed with his dad. "You think this is our fault, Dad? You don't know Spud like we do. There's a reason no one likes him. He's a bully. He causes trouble. Everyone at school works hard at avoiding him." "I'm not having a go at you boys," said Mr. Mitchell. "Everyone likes to hang around with their own friends. I just don't want you to make more trouble by fighting Spud. There's another way to handle this." "What do you suggest we do, Mr. Mitchell?" asked Anthony. "Invite Spud over for tea and scones?" "If you like." The colour drained from Anthony's face. He looked a bit sick. "Spud is not a Christian," said Mr. Mitchell. "Well, obviously," said Anthony. "Do me a favour," said Mr. Mitchell. "Put yourself in Spud's shoes. I can help you fix the treehouse easy. It's just wood and tin and nails. Fixing a person, well, that's what God does. But he likes to give us the opportunity to help him. Just think about that, okay?" And he returned to the house. Anthony grabbed the rope ladder, saw the hacked rope at the top and let it fall. He pulled himself up onto lower hanging branches and from there climbed up higher until he reached the treehouse, and he went inside its broken shell to assess the damage. "Most of the frame is loose," he said, using one hand to rock a wall backwards and forwards. It's too dangerous to leave it as it is. We'll have to demolish it. I'd like to demolish Spud, said Johnno. He climbed the tree the same way as Anthony, but he couldn't bring himself to go inside the treehouse. Instead, he scrambled up higher, sat on a branch, and looked down on his friends. Then Anthony discovered the laughing face drawn in black ink above the window. "Irrefutable evidence!" he shouted. "It was Spud who wrecked the treehouse, all right. He's gone and drawn the same graffiti I've seen all over his schoolbooks and bag. He's no criminal mastermind." "Now we know for sure. What do we do about him?" said Johnno. "According to Tom's father, we're supposed to ask him over for morning tea," said Anthony. He tugged at a broken board and it came away with a crack. He threw the board down, just missing Tom's feet. "Hey, watch it," said Tom. He looked up into the tree but saw Johnno sitting on the branch surrounded by large, dark green leaves and stared at him for half a minute. "Bro, what's wrong with you?" asked Johnno. Tom didn't answer. "He's gone into shock," said Anthony. It was true. Tom had gone into shock because seeing Johnno sitting in the tree reminded him of something. "Zacchaeus," he said. "Oh no," said Anthony.
Jesus was going through Jericho, where a man named Zacchaeus lived. He was in charge of collecting taxes and was very rich. Jesus was heading his way, and Zacchaeus wanted to see what he was like. But Zacchaeus was a short man and could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree. When Jesus got there, he looked up and said, "Zacchaeus, hurry down. I want to stay with you today." Zacchaeus hurried down and gladly welcomed Jesus. Everyone who saw this started grumbling.
"This man Zacchaeus is a sinner, and Jesus is going home to eat with him."
Later that day, Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord,
"I will give half of my property to the poor, and I will now pay back 4 times as much to everyone I have ever cheated."
Jesus said to Zacchaeus, "Today, you and your family have been saved, because you are a true son of Abraham. The Son of Man came to look for and to save people who are lost."
"Do you know what I'm thinking?" Tom asked Johnno and Anthony. "Yes," said Anthony. "I know exactly what you're thinking." "What?" asked Johnno, mystified. "What are you thinking?" Anthony climbed down to a lower branch, then jumped to the ground to confront Tom. "He's thinking we should invite Spud over," he called to Johnno while staring at Tom. "No way," said Johnno. "Oh yes, he is," said Anthony. "Tell him, Tom. Tell Johnno that despite everything Spud has done, you're going to invite him to the treehouse." Tom shrugged. "Well, it's the right thing to do, isn't it?" "Yes," nodded Anthony. "It is the right thing to do. There's just no way I'm doing it." He pushed past Tom and stormed off.
Hey Kiwi Kids, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.